Welcome, everyone. He's ready for the world today. See, he's on time, but he's downstairs. That's where he wanted to be last night, so that's where he is. Lifestyle or moments. I met with a really good friend on Friday night, and as we were talking, she gave me an analogy of how she understood the law to be. And the analogy was baseball players and the rise of the Japanese baseball players, you know. And it was interesting that she realized an athlete has a lifestyle, training. That's what they do. They train every single day. Every moment they train. We don't see that training. We just see when they perform and we marvel at their achievements. We do. You know, the gymnasts, the ballerinas, all those kinds of people. They have a lifestyle. They get up and they train every day because they know the outcome of their training. The outcome of their training is to live it out. That's the outcome for them. They don't just train because they have a race. Oh, I got a race next week. Let me train. And also, Neville Goddard did allude to this very same thing. And he equated it to learning the piano. Any great pianist practices for many hours. And they're not practicing because they're bored. They are practicing because they know the outcome of their practice. Now, when they practice, their performance is directly going to correspond to their practice. That's what they know. They don't live and just say, oh, I got a concert. Oh, I got a concert over here. Got a concert over. Nope. That's not what they do. They live a life that matches their performance. They're constantly performing. So they constantly practice. Rhythm compensates. So, where now do we draw this comparison? To life. Look at it. People get into learning about the law of attraction or manifestation because they want a particular moment in their lives to change. Whereas in actuality, we don't live for moments. You practice the principles on a daily basis. You check your mood. What mood am I in? If you don't know what mood you're in, look at your behavior. You see, and the reason why I say this to us today is because habits, there's a saying, old habits die hard. It's pretty self explanatory, isn't it? Old habits die hard. But what does it mean? It means that when you want to do something different in your life, you must make it a lifestyle. You don't just say, "Ooh, I need a relationship. Ooh, I need money in the bank. Ooh, I need a new job. Let me do these affirmations for 30 days." And then after 30 days, you go back to what you were. Being deliberate is a lifestyle. Don't blame me. I'm actually tired on a Monday morning because my son and I were up late talking. We were up late talking and snacking on popcorn because, that's how we roll. But a lifestyle. This is why some people continually learn because they love learning. They don't just think about it. So you graduate school and you're like, ugh, I'm done. There was too much book learning for me. I am done. And you stop learning? No, learning is a lifestyle. Being deliberate is a lifestyle. Think about it for a moment, if you will. If you lived from moment to moment, there would be this up and down sort of thing. Hmm? But when you make it your lifestyle, now your life becomes consistent, balanced, and even. It just does. Because you're practicing on a daily basis the type of existence you want to have. You're not just doing affirmations. You're not just doing a naked rain dance or naked moon dance. You're not doing rituals every time you need something. You are creating a lifestyle, whereas what you require is always there for you, as opposed to what you require, you have to force to bring it in your world. This is the difference between the two. It's it's the difference between an elite athlete and just someone whose hobby is jogging. Ponder that. Because when you live this lifestyle, right? When you live that lifestyle, it means you realize that it's the beauty of what you're living. This is what you realize. Your passion for living, just like the athlete's passion for performance. This is all it is. So, do you want a lifestyle? Because if you think about it, your lifestyle is predictable. Predictability. If you look at true predictability, which would be cause and effect, correspondence, right? As within, so without, as above, so below, or every cause has its effect and every effect has its cause. When you look at those, you realize, oh, snap. Well, the outcome of rehearsal is performance. The outcome of planting is reaping. You take comfort in that. You don't take the comfort in the sowing and the reaping because you may sow one day and decide, I don't want that anymore. I want to try something else. But what you take comfort in is the outcome of sowing is always reaping, and it is irrelevant what you plant. You see, you could plant food, and the outcome is the satisfaction of eating that food. But you can plant roses and tulips. You're not going to eat them. but the outcome is the enjoyment and the beauty of them. Now, some often ask why I use scripture to share something, because that's where, listen, remember, the principles were here long before we move and have our being in the principles. We just do. But you see, the scripture has taken from the principles to use as its own, but without proper comprehension, we tend to look outside of ourselves for our betterment, when in actuality is not what is outside. Outside is only the reflection. And you only ever see yourself. Next time you stand in front of the mirror, tell me who you see. You only ever see yourself. You only ever see what you are. So then the beauty of existence is to see who you are. And when you see who you are, if you don't like that, and remember, if you don't like it, you need to figure out, is it the opinion of someone who has tainted your view of yourself? Or is it actually a habit that you could say, you know what, I don't want to do that thing anymore. That's not who I am, right? You've got to be able to tell the difference between the two. So when you look in the mirror, you are the one casting the reflection. So now, the world is your mirror. See, what good is it if you just hear analogies, but you don't know how to apply it to everyday life? If you look in the mirror and the only one in that mirror that you can see is you, then that's not a judgment. That's an observation. So when you look in the mirror, why do we look in the mirror? To assess ourselves, to see, are your curls popping? Is your outfit on fleek? Allegedly, that's how the young people say it. Or are you looking in the mirror to say, "Ugh, look at my nose. Oh my God. It's so like huge. Oh my God, look at my gap. It's so big. Like, ugh, that is not the Hollywood smile that everybody has. I'm so gross. I'm so ugly." That is not what the mirror is for. But that is what we have tainted it to become. Oh my God, I'm 50 and I've done nothing with my life. That is not what the mirror is for. It is not there for you to compare yourself to another. It is there for you to assess and say, wait a minute, I would like to have a different kind of experience. So if you want a different kind of experience, you must become a different kind of person. After all, the mirror is reflecting, is it not? So if you don't change your clothes and you stand in front of the mirror, you're still wearing the same outfit. So if you stand in front of this mirror, which we call life, and you say, oh my God, why do people treat me this way? Because you're wearing the same attitude. You're wearing the same attitude. Remember, that mirror is not there to judge you. It is there for you to see what you are doing and if you're all right with it. Because when you look in the mirror, you're not seeing your mother. You're sure as heck not seeing your father. You're seeing your own reflection, which means in spite of the fact that your mother's DNA and your father's DNA came together and you have some of that DNA, but you also have your own. You also have your own. So when you look in the mirror, everything that you see, the colors you choose, all those things are there because of previous experience. And they come together to create your image that is reflecting back at you. But if you say, I don't like this color on me, well, do you not change it? Do you not find a more suitable color? Or do you throw yourself on the ground and roll around? Oh my God, I hate this color. This color is ruining my life. Is that what you do? You change the color, which means you change the attitude. But we are so quick to judge ourselves. You see, there's a cost. To become an elite athlete means you're not going to hang out with friends as much. This is what it means. It means when everybody else is going to the beach, you're in the gym. You're not a terrible friend. You have just chosen a different lifestyle that you deem to be rewarding for yourself. So you get up every day and you train. So if you want a life that is beautiful in this world, then you must weigh the cost and embrace the ability that you have, which is to change and apply it without complaint because you know the outcome of complaining. You adopt the lifestyle of persistence, of knowing that your change does not in the blink of an eye. Change is practice. This is why the gymnast will run and flip over and over and over and over until they can't get it wrong. They only get it right. But when I say to you, well, you've got this habit that you've been doing for so long, and that's why it feels overwhelming to you, only because you've been doing that for such a long time. Well, that is your cue to practice changing that attitude and holding that attitude until that attitude now is your lifestyle versus saying, ugh, it's taking so long. Why am I still the same way? Because you have taken your eyes from your rehearsal to complain. Oh my God, Angela, you're so cold and insensitive. How can you possibly think that I'm not trying to change? One does not try to change, we rehearse our change. You practice. And when you, as the athlete would do, if you hit the hurdle, do you take up the hurdle and throw them and beat them and break them into smithereens? No, you go back to the start line and you look at why you hit the hurdle. You didn't bring that leg up far enough. So what do you practice? Stepping over the hurdle and bringing the leg up over and over and over again because you know the outcome of it. The outcome of practice is the smooth performance of it. But many of us get up and say, well, I've been sleeping and listening to these affirmations for weeks and nothing is changing because you are just listening to affirmations. And the first thing we say is, God must hate me. The universe is not my friend. The universe is against me. No, it is not. It is not. Instead, and let me tell you, I have a PhD in complaining, so I know. I know. That's why I have turned over my sourdough container, because I'm just not quite ready. Mm-mm. It has whooped my butt one too many times. I said, sourdough, you're the enemy. Is it? Or do I just need to get up and realize that sourdough requires consistency? So I said, okay, what time can I feed you at every single day that is consistent? So now I'm just trying to find the time. Which time can I commit to it? What time? Before I go live? Before I go to work? Which one? And once I choose that, that will require me to follow through with it on a daily basis so that my starter can be strong, so that when I'm ready to bake bread, I just go and I know that my starter is solid, that it is perfect, it is primed because I put in the consistency. I'm not going to lay here and go, oh, oh, my sourdough. I'm just going to wiggle my nose and it'll be perfect. What am I, bewitched? But you know what? I digress. So when you make the decision to change, recognize that the decision is a beautiful thing and commit to it. Why would you commit to that? Because you want to change. Are you not excited about that? It is your excitement of your change because, listen, you know the inevitable outcome of the change. That's why you do it. You don't do it and hope that you change. No dancer rehearses and hopes that they don't trip on stage. They rehearse to the point that it is irrelevant where they dance. They know they'll get it right. You see, and because humanity is as beautiful as it is, we have so many words. We call it muscle memory, when in actuality, it is principle. Every time you rehearse, you become more and more of what you rehearse. And you become more and more aware of what you are becoming as you rehearse. That is the principle of mentalism. That is what you're doing. So if you remember that that's what you're doing, but Angela, how does that pertain to life? Look at what's going on in the world. Mind your business. There's a reason why you mind your business. Do you think that when you focus and you practice, that you do not influence the world? You influence your surroundings with your mental mood, your mental attitude, your behavior. So if you want the so-called world to change, you have to change first. But what do we do? I love how Neville put it. He says we break the mirror to change our face. Now, which one of you can bust that mirror and your face will change? None of you. Because you cannot break the mirror to change your face. You have to change your face. Meaning what? It means you change your inner attitude. It does not mean you call up the plastic surgeon and talking about, can you lift that up and, and tuck that back here and shave some off of this? You are still changing your outward. You're still changing your outward. One does not change the outward. You change that which is within, and the outward follows. So, you see, living a life that is deliberate. It's not a fad. It doesn't, no. It's not in this season and out next season. Because if you realize that living deliberately meant that you get up and you make choices, where do you make those choices from? Are you making those choices based upon what you heard about yourself? Are you making those choices based upon what? See, when you use the principle of mentalism, it'll show you where you're making your choice from. Are you making your choice from insecurity? Mm. Look at how one behaves when they're insecure. You want to make choices from there? So then you begin to rehearse confidence. How does one rehearse confidence? Just like I told my son, you have to do something. He's like, but mom, do what? It's something that you want to learn. Because when you see yourself, when you watch yourself learn and you begin to master what you learn, oh, what happens to insecurity? Did you have to fight and struggle against insecurity, or did insecurity fade? Insecurity faded, not because you were looking at it and complaining that you're insecure and hating it, but insecurity faded because you ensconced yourself and learned something and practiced and rehearsed something, and you became good at it. That's where your security now emerged from. Your confidence emerged from there. And we'll have moments where we feel insecure, but those are just moments because you comprehend what insecurity is. It is just a mood that you pass through. But because you have the experience that says, hey, I watched myself learn this, I watched myself become this. Yeah, I know what I am capable of. So when you do things like that, you don't have to wrestle against something, because when you wrestle against it, it just gets stronger. Well, yes, because you're the one looking at it and holding it there in place. So then you gently turn your attention upon that which you want to learn and practice that. And in that practice, we learn patience, we learn persistence, we learn how to commit to ourselves. Hmm? And let me quote a scripture so that you can understand what lifestyle is and what moments are. King David said, "Thy word I have hidden in my heart that I may not sin against you." That does not mean that King David was living a life of fear because he was afraid of punishment and he didn't want to commit sin. No, you practice on a daily basis so that you always do what you intend to do because it is in you. That is why. And that is what that scripture means. The thing that you are rehearsing hidden in the heart. Nobody sees those things. Nobody sees your rehearsal at 4 in the morning. It is hidden. That's what it means. It just means I am deliberate. Nobody sees that I'm being deliberate. They don't see it, but I see it so that I know that every day I get up, I choose to be deliberate. That's what that scripture means. Thy word I have hidden in my heart that I may not sin against you. Sin is to miss the mark. But nah, we say sin is, oh my God, you a bad girl. Oh my goodness, you're a horrible man. You did what? Hmm. See how we judge one another? But we only judge the other based upon how we judge ourselves. Again, showing you as within, so without. So today, what is your lifestyle? If you know anything about religion, some people pray and fast when they want something to change in their lives. You have to change your mentality for things to change in your life. A ritual does not help one to change. A ritual is only a ritual, and the more you do the ritual, the better you get at the ritual. Still remaining the same. I'm not asking anyone to agree with me. I'm not asking anyone to believe me. I'm asking you to look at yourself and to comprehend that change originates from within. And it is always going to be the changing of the mental attitude. But no, we want to walk around and say, oh my God, but I'm ADHD, I can't focus. We want to walk around and pick ourselves apart and look for what's bad within us. When in actuality, here comes another scripture. But when you realize why that scripture is there, when you comprehend the nature of humanity, humanity was created to follow orders. Humanity has the ability to memorize. Humanity has the ability to grow and to learn so that they can follow the command. So if you know that that is the nature of humanity, do you want to hack your humanity? Well, then become the one. Become the one to make the changes in your life in the direction that you want to go. Because you know your body will always follow orders. Well, then give it the order to follow, as opposed to allowing an external force to move you. It takes great force to move someone, from the outside, but it is effortless to move oneself from the inside. You move yourself from the inside by becoming what? By recognizing that the thing you practice is the thing you become. If you practice the violin, don't you become a great violinist? Do you become a great pianist? That's not what you're practicing. That's the practicality of living. Look at it, it's there right in front of your face. I'm not asking you whether or not you're good at violin or good at piano. I'm saying to you, you become what you practice. So, what are you practicing? Angela, it was a hard life for me. Yes, and what are you practicing? Are you practicing the oppression Olympics? You see, we have become so good at judging one another. Oh, we've become real good at it. We've also become really good at canceling one another. Oh, here comes another scripture. We're so busy looking at a speck of dust in our brother's or sister's eyes, we don't see the plank in ours. And because we're so busy looking at other people, we cannot possibly be persistent in changing our lives. Oh, but Angela, my anxiety, but Angela, my depression, but Angela, my OCD. Man, it's a shirt. It's a shirt. Take it off and put another one on. Oh, how dare you, Angela. I keep telling you that we are comprised of habits. And a habit is very easy to make. It just requires an action that you want to do the same way every time. Oh, we are very good at making habits. But when you become aware that you make habits, oh, now who's powerful? Because then you will choose the habit that you will submit to. And we fight against habits all the time without the understanding that you don't fight against it, you change it. That is the only way it will slither into oblivion for you. Or you think I don't know? Ah, you think I'm somehow exempt from making habits? Oh my goodness. Go forth this day and practice being deliberate. If you find that you're always arguing on the outside, well, honey, let me break it down for you. You're arguing on the inside. Well, check yourself and you'll see it. This is why I tell you these things. So you can look at your own self and go, oh my goodness, I do see my behavior. Oh, wow. Mm, we can't be doing this. You can't be doing that. And look at how that makes you feel every day. And I don't want to feel like that every day. But what do I want to feel like every day? What would I be doing in reality? How would I be feeling in reality? Well, I'd be feeling like this. And you begin to rehearse that. Not because you're rehearsing the feeling, but because you know the outcome of rehearsal. So now it doesn't matter how deep the valley, ain't no mountain high enough. You know what? I'm done. It doesn't matter how high the mountain, it doesn't matter how low the valley, it doesn't matter how deep the ocean. What matters is you know that if you persistently do something, you can climb every mountain, ford every stream. You know what you can accomplish. And so nothing has the power to break you because you know that what I practice, I become. You know that what you've gone through cannot harden your heart, even though it has tried. And you know you've gone through it whole. You know you've gone through it. But you know that if you commit yourself to the lifestyle of being deliberate, I just felt like Robin Leach for a moment. You know that if you commit yourself to the lifestyle of checking that mood and making sure, hey, what do I want to experience in my world? Yeah, you know the outcome of that. And then you'll stop asking questions about how can I be successful? Will I be successful? What is the thing that you'd be doing that would deem that you were successful? You have to set that parameter. You have to set that parameter so that every time you do that thing, you know, ow. Every time you do it, you become more and more of that thing. You become more and more successful. But we equate success with what? Whereas your success means, if you look at it, you're always successful. Uh-uh. You didn't know that you were always successful? You are successfully projecting from within every single day. You're always a success. You are always a success. I can't even say it. You are always a success. Why are you always a success? Because that which you have molded and shaped yourself into, you have become successfully. So, how are you a failure? Because you heard somebody say that you were? Let me quote Dr. Phil. How's that working for you? You are the one with the power, okay? To mold and shape yourself into what you want to become. And it's okay that you hear your mother's voice in the back of your head. It is okay that you do. But because you hear your mother's voice in the back of your head, she's not living your life. You are. So because you hear it doesn't mean anything. Just hear it, and as we say in Barbados, hear and don't hear. Hear it, but don't allow it to have the effect on you. Because she's not living your life. Your father's not living your life. Your grandmother's not living your life. You are living your life. So it is you who gets to rehearse. And you will find that when you do that, naturally, you will relinquish those things mentally that you hold on to so much that hurt you. So are you living a lifestyle? Or are you just moving from moment to moment because, well, God willing, I don't know if that's for me or not. I don't know what my purpose is. And again, your purpose is not hidden. The purpose of life is to live. And you get to determine how you are going to mold and shape yourself on a daily basis. Hmm. Anyhow, that's all I wanted to tell you. Don't wait until a problem arises. Because you see, waiting for that like when you do that, if you're waiting for a problem, hmm, let that hang, let that linger in the air for a minute. If you are waiting for a problem, if before you can act, you already know what your actions will be like. They'll follow the line of your problem. I love you, and I want for you to see, to comprehend, to understand, but most importantly, to apply the principles on a daily basis. Because then you will realize what it means when you say, ooh, I've got these principles so deep within that I know what to draw from. When you hear, when you hear all who are what thirsty come and drink and you will never be thirsty again. How is that possible physically? You and I will always generate a thirst physically. But mentally you quench the thirst by knowing when you apply the principles, you know the outcome. That's why those who hunger and thirst for right thinking shall be filled. See what I'm saying? And it will permeate through every facet of your life, just like how the other things have permeated every facet of your present life. We spend far too much time arguing about which God is right. What difference does it make if you don't apply something and change? And then you'll really begin to see where and who God is. And you'll begin to see that it is just a word that has been tainted, to take your eyes off of the fact that it is you who has the power to change your life and that you don't have to suffer. Ah. With that, my beautiful friends, I trust you comprehend, but more so, apply. Just apply. You can do it. And all it is practice, moving yourself from one mood, one mental attitude to another, over and over and over again, until the new mental attitude takes root. Remember the pathway story in the field? On one side, you've got a track that's been trodden on for years, and that track is so clear. But then you want to change, and all you can see on the other side is tall grass. You're like, ew. Oh, you'd be like me yesterday in the gazebo. I freaked out and scared a little bit, and he started to crow outside in the yard. I said, oh my. I saw an earthworm because I was just standing in the grass. And this earthworm was at least a foot long. I said, oh no. I said, mm-mm. And I freaked out. I said, ah, oh my God. It was, listen, it was a hot mess. And I think it heard me because it slithered away real quick and I couldn't see it anymore. And it took me a while to actually relax in the gazebo because I kept thinking, oh my God, oh, I can't handle seeing that. Ew. But I'm in the grass. What do I think I'm going to see? I had to remind myself, girl, you out here in the grass with your chickens. You gonna see earthworms. You gonna see bugs. Relax. Besides, with Biscuit's precision, he ate many of them. Tee hee. So you see, will I allow my fear to keep me from going in the grass? Came pretty close. I came real close to coming back in the house, but I said, girl, it is hot. Stay outside. And so I did. So when you're learning a new way to be, it at first feels impossible because the pathway has not been laid down. But you've got to keep walking through that tall grass until it becomes smushed down so that the pathway reveals itself. Because at first, you don't even see your own footsteps. You don't see them. But so long as you continually do the same thing the same way every time, which is to walk that pathway, then you'll begin to see that you're making a change in your life. It, and I know you might doubt me. Why do you think people don't want other people walking on their lawn? Because they don't want a track to form on their lawn, whereby you'll see where everybody walks. You don't see it the first few times, but so long as you persist, you will see that pathway begin to emerge. So use the principle of correspondence as below, so above. Now take it up from below. Meaning, if you walk across that field over and over and over again, you're going to lay down a footpath. Well, then, if you keep doing the same thing the same way every time, you will lay down a mental path. So comprehend what it is that you're doing and realize that persistence is necessary for the path to show itself, for your change to emerge before your eyes. Instead of throwing in the towel and saying, this is taking too long. I've been the same way for so long, because you stop walking it. Now you understand why people are annoyed at other people walking on their lawns. You see the deeper meaning behind it? They don't want to see a footpath. That's why they have a sidewalk. Somebody already laid a path out for you to follow. That's why they don't want you on their grass. Not because my neighbor's a persnickety. They just don't want to see your footprints in their grass. So take that and use it to facilitate your change. Know that so long as you keep on the same path persistently, you will see it. At the very beginning, you do not. It feels awkward and the grass is itchy. That's only at the beginning. But so long as you persist, you will change your life. And if you can do it psychologically, you'll be able to do it physiologically. One's mental and one's physical. So, today, what is that pathway that you have been walking for so long? You can walk it with your eyes closed. It cannot defeat you. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It just means you've been walking that particular path. So now today, be deliberate to know that, wait a minute, I know that that pathway is strong because I've been walking it for so long. Who's a poet and don't know it? But you know what? I'm going to start walking a new path. I'm going to start with this new behavior. Same behavior every time. I'm going to do this because I know the outcome of doing it. What is the outcome of doing the same thing the same way every time? Becoming that which you do. So don't give up talking about, you can't teach no dog new tricks. Of course you can. You just got to get the right treats. So what's the right treat for you today? Persistence. And out of that persistence, you create a lifestyle. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2. Flow smiles. Girl, you can tell me that they're good for my, I know they're good for my garden, but don't just jump out at me like that. Don't just, you gotta prep me for those things. Don't just jump out of the grass like that at me. That's too much. Oh my word. They're great aerators. But I know that they're there. But then when you see them, you're like, oh, at least for me. Right? I just love y'all. 1. So go forth today and know what mental attitude you want to have and start practicing that mental attitude, because it is in the rehearsal of that mental attitude you will perform on the stage of life. Much love to each and every one of you. Did I even welcome anybody today? Wait, whoa, hold on, wait a minute. Wealthy Supreme Rico. Ooh, ooh. He just dropped a super chat. Hello. Thank you, Wealthy Supreme Rico. Thank you. Welcome to the space, darling. Yes, it is true. The better man is also here with us in these YouTube streets. Ow. And the thing I almost forgot to look, oh man, see, I get so caught up. Twitter is as Twitter is, but they're part of the replay gang. Wow, I have to scroll through fan base this morning. Hush. Who's in fan base this morning? Ray Ray is in the house. Big Mike is in the house. Miss McQueen, my sweet, is in the house. Kresha is in the house. Or is it, you know what? 2 E's would be Cree. I say Kresha because there's only 1 E. You can correct me if I'm wrong, darling. Moon and Dolphin Duck. Oh, Summer Rose is in the house. Flo Smiles. Let me guess, Flo Smiles, you grew that flower in your garden, didn't you? Hmm? Oh, you didn't grow that one? Wow, I lay corrected. Because I know you're so green thumb, you know. Jessamine is here. Honey is in the house. And Michael is here as well. Listen, allegedly, well, according to YouTube, I've been prattling on for like at least 58 minutes. Yikes. I try and keep that short. But I get so riled up. Anyway, thank you all for being here. Let me put that one up there so the rest of the world can see in these YouTube streets. Thank you, Wealthy Supreme Rico. Thank you. I totally just, aw. Thank you for your kindness and your generosity today. And on Fanbase, thank you for all the love that you've given me this morning, too. But go forth into the world and practice because you know what happens when you practice. Oracle Treehouse. Hey, girl. I see you. I see you, sugar. Mm-hmm. Yes. Parroting really is such sweet sorrow. But those girls are asleep on the stairs, and a little bit is asleep at the bottom of the stairs on the floor. Because if I put him on the stairs, he gonna fall. So, just leave him on solid ground. Reminds me of that hymn, on Christ the solid rock I stand, all of the ground is sinking sand. You start to see your hymns in a whole different way. I put him on solid ground so he doesn't hurt himself. So now you understand the significance of a solid foundation. Oh, speaking of foundation, let me get ready and go to work. Because some people need to have their foundations replaced and they're not going to like that. Oh my. Mm. But you know, be deliberate in your life and create your lifestyle. Oh, I trust it makes sense. Really? It is Krisha? I lay corrected. Thank you for telling me, Krisha, darling. Now I will have to say it with all the beauty it deserves. Krisha. Mm. Thank you for that. I see you. Jesse, man, you're Asian too? Wow. See? Listen, we just bring so many people together, don't we? We have such a beautiful community. I love it. I love it. I love it. Mm, I love it. Anyhow, don't let me keep y'all, because I don't need him hollering at me from downstairs talking about feed me, mother. I don't need that. I might take some eggs for breakfast this morning. You know why? Because that girl is so faithful. She laid me an egg yesterday, too. So I think I have a dozen now. So I will have 2 eggs today, 2 little eggs. They're not as small as quail eggs, but they're not far off because she's so tiny. My teeny tiny girl with her little eggs. Anywho, love y'all. Oh, yeah, you're Canadian too. Oh, 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 but Ray. It is all good. It is all good. Much love to each and every one of you. Mwah. Much love. Thank you again, Wealthy Supreme Rico. And much love to you also. Thank you.